Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by the Canadian press, Russian President Vladimir Putin has rejected a proposal from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy for a face-to-face meeting to discuss the ongoing conflict. Speaking at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, Putin described Zelenskyy's direct open letter as boorish and stated he sees no point in such a meeting. Putin criticized the proposal following recent Ukrainian drone strikes in the Luhansk region and mocked Zelenskyy's previous interactions with U.S. political leaders. While Zelenskyy's letter criticized Putin's long stay in power and mocked his age, the 73-year-old Russian leader dismissed the comments, stating that a leader's ability to work is what matters. Putin reiterated that Russia remains open to a compromise based on previous discussions with Donald Trump in Anchorage, but he rejected calls for an immediate ceasefire, calling instead for a comprehensive settlement. The forum, which Russia uses to showcase its economic stability despite Western sanctions, was attended by several international delegations, even as security concerns persist following a recent Ukrainian drone attack on an oil terminal in St. Petersburg. According to a report by Sing Tao, the official website of SpaceX and its initial public offering, IPO, pitch documents have become inaccessible in mainland China and Hong Kong, displaying an error 1009. Sources reveal that the lead underwriters, Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, have instructed syndicate banks not to accept subscriptions from investors in China and Hong Kong. This ban, driven by compliance with the U.S. International Traffic in Arms Regulations, ITAR, and strict defense technology export restrictions, aims to prevent unauthorized foreign access to sensitive space technologies. This development occurs as SpaceX prepares for a historic $75 billion IPO, with a valuation expected to reach $1.75 trillion, potentially making it the largest market debut in history. Industry analysts note that blocking IP addresses is a deliberate corporate decision. This move reflects escalating geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and China, which have led American technology and aerospace companies to scrutinize shareholder backgrounds more rigidly to avoid U.S. national security reviews and safeguard government contracts. According to CBS News, a federal judge in Rhode Island has blocked a series of Trump administration policies that paused the processing of legal immigration applications for many immigrants in the United States. Chief Judge John McConnell ruled that the sweeping limits, which halted applications for citizens of 39 countries on the travel ban list, were arbitrary, capricious, and contrary to federal law. The Trump administration had implemented these measures late last year on national security grounds following a shooting incident in Washington, D.C., involving an Afghan asylum seeker. The pause had prevented U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, from granting green cards, work permits, and citizenship to nationals of the affected countries. In his 135-page opinion, Judge McConnell stated that the agency claimed authority it did not possess and used pretextual national security concerns to mask anti-immigrant sentiments. However, James Percival, General Counsel for the Department of Homeland Security, criticized the ruling. He called the decision sabotage dressed in legal clothing, arguing that opponents have repeatedly used similar racism claims to block nearly every Trump-era policy since 2017. Al Jazeera reports that an international coalition of lawyers has filed a lawsuit with the African Commission on Human and People's Rights in an effort to block deportations from the United States to Equatorial Guinea. The legal challenge targets a controversial third-country agreement established between the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump and the West African nation. Under this policy, The U.S. can deport individuals to Equatorial Guinea if they cannot be safely returned to their home countries. Human rights organizations have strongly condemned the practice, pointing out that deportees are being sent to a country with a dismal rights record, where they often have no personal ties and do not speak the local language. The lawsuit was brought on behalf of 14 deportees, some of whom are currently facing arbitrary and indefinite detention. The U.S. State Department itself has previously cited credible reports of torture and degrading treatment in Equatorial Guinea, while the Trump administration has defended these third-country deportations as a lawful strategy to bolster U.S. border security. The lawsuit requests an immediate suspension of further repatriations and guaranteed access to legal representation. According to a report by UPI, rising living costs and fiscal austerity measures in Argentina, under President Javier Milei, are forcing an increasing number of retirees to re-enter the workforce. Over the past 2 years, the number of employed Argentines aged 65 and older has surged by 12.7%, with women experiencing a particularly high increase of 14.5%, compared to 10.8% for men. Inflation and the deregulation of prices, which saw private healthcare premiums climb by 400%, have severely eroded the purchasing power of the minimum pension, currently valued at about $320 per month. This economic pressure is further compounded by cuts to public healthcare benefits, such as free prescription drug coverage. Experts point out that this is not isolated to Argentina, but is a broader Latin American phenomenon. The Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean noted that retirement employment often serves as a survival mechanism rather than a choice due to insufficient pension systems. As nations face rapid demographic shifts without robust social safety nets, many elderly citizens throughout the region face a future of prolonged financial insecurity. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.